Hey Trills, so yes, we know it's been a little minute since y'all seen and heard from us, but we're back with a story time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think of our video. My story time is going to be about the first time I really got drunk and blacked out. And this only happened to me once. Like, I know my limit or whatever, but this night was just super crazy. And yeah, I got drunk, I was throwing up. Anyway, I'm gonna tell y'all the details. So this was when I was in college, and I was a junior in college. So junior in college, and me and my girls, we was going out. I believe it was her birthday, one of my homegirls' birthday, and she was gonna bring a group of her friends. This was actually my first time meeting everybody, but me and her, we was super close because we was co-workers and we went to the same college. So we was like super tight since we were working together, and then we found out we was going to the same school. So anyway, so it was her birthday and we was going out, and I think actually it was after midterm, so everybody was just super hype, wanting to get loose and take all that stress away. If you go to college or been in school, you know how stressful midterm week is. You got papers back to back, you got tests, everything, exams, whatever. So this was a weekend where after everything was due, like, you good, you ain't got nothing else to worry about. And it happened to be her birthday weekend. So anyway, we went out. It was some bar. I forgot the name of it. Some bar in Sacramento, but it was like a bar / cut club type of thing. It was super cute. The music was good, vibe was good. I actually met her at her place, and we all Ubered there because nobody wanted to be the DD. And if you DD, designated driver, just for those that don't know what DD means, but nobody wanted to be the DD. So smart thing is, if you know you about to drink, you Uber or you Lyft. So we decided to Uber, and we was all looking cute, dressed up. I was ready, she was ready, like her friends was ready, everybody was looking good. So then when we got there, you know, when you first walk in, it's just super chill. Everybody looking around, trying to get a vibe of the scene. And the music was just already on point, like super on point. Everything was good. They had the bar set up, lit up. It was just super fun. So we was dancing, and then we had our first couple of drinks, and you know, you want to start off with a shot, get the birthday girl her shots, everything. So we just taking our shots, having our drink, dancing, vibing with everybody, cracking jokes. You know how it is when you go out. So yeah, we just all dancing, just doing our thing. And as the night goes on, they just, you know, giving me drinks. She treating me, I'm treating her. We just getting drinks. And I remember she goes to the bathroom, and she went with one of her friends. I was on the dance floor with a few other of her friends. So we kind of like split up. She went with a couple of people to the bathroom. I was still on the dance floor with a few people. So then the security guard actually comes back, and he has her and her other friends. He's like, y'all gotta go. And we're like, what? Like, why do we have to go? And he's like, she's too drunk, blah, blah, blah. You guys are all too drunk. You got to get out. You can't be in here like this. Mind you, everybody was straight. Nobody was like sloppy drunk or none of that. Not falling over the place. Like, this security was really just tripping on us. So we like, what? No, like, we are not leaving, or we gonna go to another club. Like, fuck that. We going to another club. We gonna club hop at this point, because why are you ruining our night? mind you, we all super lit, like just lit. We don't care what's the next move, you know. If you leave a different one club, you trying to find the next club or the next party, whatever the case may be. So anyway, so we like, oh, okay, we gonna go to the next club next door. So mind you, the club slash bar that we're at is on like a strip of where it's just different clubs. So if you walk out, there's another club. If you walk out of that club, there's another club. So it's just multiple different clubs, right? So I believe we went to the next club, but that one was kind of like, it was trash. Like, it was not as hype as the one we just got kicked out of. So then we like, dang, like what we gonna do? Or is we gonna keep paying to go into these different clubs? So he was like, no, like let's just Uber back to the crib. Let's just go back to the crib and we'll be like, we could still party there. We got our own bottles there. So we end up doing that, taking my friend home. We back at her place, and nobody wants the night to end. It's like, at this point, it's probably like 1, maybe almost 2 in the morning. So we still like super hype, ready to keep the night going. And my friend, she was already like low-key gone. Like once we got back to her place, it was like over. Like she was like throwing up, and but she was still hype. Like, you know, when you just in that mode, you're not really thinking. So I'm trying to be there for her, watch over her, and everybody's just trying to watch out for each other. Like, oh, if this person not feeling good, this person on the couch, and some people still trying to get everybody else to drink. So finally, like once it got super late, I was like, dang, like I'm the only one that really has to get home. Everybody else lived either in this apartment complex where we were at, or they didn't have that far to go. And I was like probably the only one that actually had to get home that wasn't that close to that apartment. So I'm like, they like, oh, you could just stay. I'm like, no, like I want to go home. So boom, call me an Uber. I get back home, I'm feeling like horrible at this point. Horrible. I'm like, I can't do this. Like my stomach just started feeling sick. I'm like, oh, why am I feeling this way? I'm like, oh my gosh, I had too many drinks. Why did I drink? You know, when you get drunk, you start questioning yourself. Like, why did I do this to myself? I'm never doing this again. If you've been drunk like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You be literally pleading like, I'm never doing this shit again. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm all by myself. Finally, at this point, I'm even barely remembering, but I know I got home safe. Lock my door, everything. I'm like, I'm just about to go to sleep. And this was a Saturday, so I knew the next day. Usually I do like my shopping and stuff on Sundays, like get my groceries for the week. So I'm like, Dania, just go to sleep. When you wake up, you'll feel better. So went to sleep. And when I woke up, I had a horrible headache, like terrible hangover. I'm like, I don't know how in the heck I'm gonna be able to go to the store like this. Like, I feel terrible. And then we call everybody calls each other the next day, just checking on each other, making sure everybody cool or whatever. But we all felt like horrible. We all felt like shit, basically. She was still throwing up, and I'm like, girl, I'm on the phone like, girl, I ain't even thrown up, but I feel horrible. I got a horrible headache. Like, I'm big talking, like I feel bad, but I haven't thrown up type shit. So then I get off the phone with her, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the store, like get me something to clear all this up out of me, whatever. Before I get to the store, I'm literally about to walk out the door. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta throw up. Like, I have to throw up. Got a bag, and I just literally puked all in that bag. It was like I knew it was coming. It wasn't like I just threw up, but I knew it was coming. I felt it. And literally I threw up, but that was all the liquor I had like in my system. It just kept coming, kept coming. I'm sorry. I don't want to be too gross, but yes, that's what happened. And then I was like, okay, like now that that's happened, let me go to the grocery store. I drive to the grocery store. I can't even get out my car. I can't even get out my car. I'm just sitting there like I have to throw up again. And I brought my bag with me, not the same bag, but a fresh bag for if I had to throw up again. I threw up right in that parking lot. I didn't care. Threw it right in that parking lot. Finished that, and I was like, I'm already at the store. I'm about to just go in real quick. I couldn't even really shop how I wanted to. I had to just grab a few things, hurry up, get back, and get back to the car. But yeah, y'all, that was the first time I've ever really, well, say if I blacked out. I don't want to say it was like a blackout. I think in the beginning I said blackout, but it wasn't like I blacked out and I don't remember anything. But that was the first time I really threw up, threw up after drinking, after a crazy night. Everybody was crazy. We got kicked out. She throwing up, I'm throwing up, and it was just, if you've been out with your friends or college, whatever, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my little story time.
Hey everybody, this is Danny from Trilogy, and I'm coming to y'all with a story time. Yes, I think it's slight juicy. It's not real juicy. It's nothing major. But it's just a story time on how me and my best friend caught my brother doing the do. Let me stop talking like that. But yeah, we caught him, you feel me, getting it in. So yeah, we caught him doing that. So basically, I'm going to take this back to like younger. So whatever. So my friend came over. Usually when she came over, like on the weekends and stuff, our parents was going out. So my mom would go out with her mom. So that was the situation this weekend. So she came over, you feel me? Usually we in the living room. So just so happened, we happened to be like in my room, like actually like chilling in my room and stuff. So this what happened. So we was chilling in my room, whatever, and my friend, I'm gonna call her, well actually it was Tiante, so it was Tay. Yes, so Tay, you feel me, she was over there, right? Whatever. So we chilling in my room. She went to the bathroom, but the bathroom was on the other side. Like we had two bathrooms, but one bathroom was like the boys' bathroom. So she went to like the girls' bathroom, whatever. So it was like way on the other side of our apartment. So she went over there. So as she walking back from the bathroom down the hall, right? Because it was like a long hall. Like you have to go to two different halls. So walk down two different halls. So basically, when she got to ours and she was walking out my brother, in their room, their door was cracked. So as she walking by, she said she looked in there, whatever. And she was like, she seen that, our neighbor, I'm gonna call her, what should I call her? I'm gonna call her Thotty. All right, so Thotty was in the fucking window, like she was in the window, face to the window. She pulled up and she had some Magnums. Yes, Trojan Magnums. Yes, Go Rapper. So she come running to my room like, damn, guess what I just seen? I'm like, what? Like, what happened? She's like, I just seen Thotty up in the window. Like, she had Magna condoms. And, like, she was talking to your brother. And I'm like, what? Like, even though I knew they was talking or whatever, but, like, I'm like, girl, you ain't known him that long. Whatever. So, anyways, So I was like, she not right there. Like, you're lying. So our rooms was right next door to each other. So it's like my window right here, and then like a little bit of space, and then they window. So basically, I can look out my window and look to the side like this, like put my head kind of to the side, and I could see, like, you know, in front of their window kind of. So I seen, like, you know, her body frame there, and I'm like, oh, like, you telling the truth. Like, okay. So then I'm still peeking out the window. She go, walking by like she happy. Like, you feel me? She happy. Thought he happy. So whatever. So I'm like, man, like, what the hell? Like, we like, you know, like, they doing this, whatever. So I'm like, bitch, like, let's spy on them. Right, like, ain't nobody, that's what we said. We was laughing like, we finna fuck they shit up. Like, ain't nobody getting no dick around here. Why was we cock blocking? Like, I don't know. We was trying to cock block so hard. Like, I don't know. We just always wanted to fuck with my brothers. So it was like, oh, well, he ain't finna get nothing. Like, we finna cock block, or we finna catch them, whatever. So that was our plan. So I guess my brother was taking his shower, doing whatever he was doing. I'm gonna say 30 minutes to an hour passed. So then we hear, you feel me, like him telling my other brother, like, you feel me, he finna go. So then I'm looking out my room, like, I open my door, I'm looking out the door, I'm peeking, and I'm like, okay. So as soon as he leave out the front door, I'm gonna run and I'm gonna see like where they going. Which I kind of figured they was going to her house, but like in our apartment complex, it was different areas. Like, they could have did in the laundry room, they could have did like in the front foyer part, kind of like wherever, you feel me, they could have did in the back. I don't know, but we was gonna catch their ass, and that's what we did. So I was peeking out the door, whatever. I waited till he walked down the hall, and he made a right, boom, walking towards the front door. So I'm like, all right. So I snuck and run down the hall, hit the corner, ran to the door, cracked it, peeked in there, peeked outside. I mean, not in there, but I peeked outside, and I'm seeing that he walking towards her house. So I'm like, okay. So then I close the door. I'm like, okay, whatever. So they either gonna do it outside, he gonna go get her, they going to her house, I don't know. But I'll go back to the room, and I'm like, Tiante, like, okay, bitch, guess we gonna need some flashlights. Like, we finna catch their ass. Like, what we need flashlight for? Well, I guess we needed flashlights because it was dark outside, but we really didn't need flashlights. So we feel me, we got the flashlights, whatever. I went in the closet, got the flashlights, whatever. So I'm gonna say we waited like 5 minutes, because we was like, it just ain't gonna like jump off, like, you feel me. So we waited like 5-10 minutes, whatever. So then we went outside. So I was like, okay, we're gonna check in the back first. We're gonna check all in the outside areas first that you can kind of, like, you feel me, duck off and do some shit in. So we checked all those spots first, like looking with the flashlight. Didn't see him nowhere outside. So I'm like, man, they in her house. Like, they're in her house. And I'm like, dang, like, the only way we can see inside her windows if we go out the building, outside the gate, because it was gated. So if we go outside the gate and then go to the front. And I was like, that's where her room is at. So I was like, man, I'm not finna do all that. Like, so I don't know why something told me to look in her brother's window, which was like inside the complex, where you can literally, because we all lived on the first floor, so you can literally just walk up to the window. So I'm like, man, like, I don't know, something just told me to look in there. So that's why we walked over there, we crept over there. And I told Tiante, I'm like, Tiante, like, should we look? And she, so I was like, man, I'm not finna do all that. Like, so I don't know why something told me to look in her brother's window, which was like inside the complex, where you can literally, because we all lived on the first floor, so you can literally just walk up to the window. So I'm like, man, like, I don't know, something just told me to look in there. So that's why we walked over there, we crept over there. And I told Tiante, I'm like, Tiante, like, should we look? And she like, yeah, like, let's look. So that's what we did. And we went to Thotty brother window. And I look first because I was like, no, you go first. We sitting over there arguing like, you go first. No, you go first. No, you go first. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to look. So, you feel me? I have my flashlight, but I knew not to flash the light in the fucking window. So I'm looking. Teeter-tot up to the, walk up to the thing. I'm like, I'm looking at the bed. They had bunk beds, so I'm like, I don't see them on them. I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, damn, I don't see him. So then I get back off the window. I'm like, like, I don't see him. I don't think they in there. So then I was like, man, let me look one more time. Here we go. Here I go. Looking again. Just so happened to look down. Just so happened to look down at the ground. And guess who I seen? I seen Thotty on her back with a pillow over her face. And my brother in between her legs. Getting it in. So I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. Deontay. Like, mind you, we all at the window. Like, we dead ass close to the window. They probably heard us. You feel me? They probably heard us. So I'm like, oh shit. Deontay. Bitch, stay in there. They fucking. And she like, no, they not. No, they not. I told her. She had her flashlight on. I said, don't flash the light in the window. Because they're going to see you. They're going to know that somebody's looking in the fucking window. And you know, like, that's fucking weird. So, she's like, okay. So she looking. I was like, they on the floor. Deontay, they on the floor. She's still looking. She's like, I can't see shit. Here she go with the flashlight. Found them on the floor. Boom. So instantly she had the light there. Like, it wasn't just like a quick flash. Like, it was like a, like, nigga, I'm finna catch your ass. Like, you finna know that I'm watching you type shit. Like, I need you to know. So my brother popped his head up. She was like, oh shit. So as soon as she said, oh shit, my first instinct is, fuck, we're caught. I fucking turned around, booked it, running. Dipped out on her ass. Ran home, locked her ass out, fucking ran in my room. Was like, oh shit. Then I'm like, fuck. I hear knocking at the door and shit. So I'm like, oh shit, like, let me hurry up and get the fucking door before my other brother realized, like, why the fuck somebody knocking on the door? Like, what the fuck going on? They gonna realize, you feel me, that we left. So I fucking go run to the living room. Open the door. I'm like, bitch, why the fuck did you, that's the first thing I said, bitch, why the fuck did you flash the light in the window? He gonna know that we was looking. She was like, I don't think he see me, because she said when he lifted his head up, his eyes were still closed. I said, but bitch, why did you flash the light in the fucking window? Like, I'm just totally like, I'm just mad off of that. Like, nigga, I distinctly told you don't do that, and you did it. You so hard-headed. Like, why? So we whispering, we going back and forth. She like, yeah, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened. She was like, he just lifted up his head and he was looking. And she said, I just took off running. But when I looked back, you was already gone. She said, all I heard was the door slam and lock. And I said, yeah, bitch, you need to know. When one run, we all run. Bitch, you see me turn around booking, you should have booked your ass too. You feel me? So whatever. So I'm like, oh my God. So did he see you? She was like, no, he didn't see me, but he seen the light. So we like, okay, we got to get rid of the evidence. So I got the flashlight. I hurried up. I hit him in my room, whatever like that. So we just sitting there like, you know, trying to change conversation. But we dead ass heart beating out our fucking chest. Like, boom, like my brother finna come in. He finna cuss us the fuck out. Like, heart beating. So, you feel me? I finally hear that he came in. So he come in, whatever. And when he came in, you feel me, he went right to the room, but he was mad. So I can hear my other brother. I put my nosy ass, put my fucking ear to the fucking wall and was listening like, bitch, shut up. Bitch, shut up. So I hear my brother like, oh, like him and they friends was there too. So his friends was like, damn, what's it good? You know, like niggas talk, whatever. So he just went inside the bathroom because the boys' bathroom was in their room. So he went in there and slammed the door. And so he hot. I guess he didn't get to finish. So whatever, he came out and then he was like, yeah, somebody was flashing a light in the fucking window and shit. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I look at her and I tell him, like, bitch, they know. They know. They know that we did this. Like, they know. Like, I'm just prepared for the worst at this point. I'm prepared for him to come, cuss us out. Like, I don't know. But he never said anything about it. Just my other brother, he was just like, yeah, y'all some cop blockers, whatever. But he never said nothing about it.
Hey YouTube, this is your girl Tay coming with the story time on my first time smoking weed for the first time. You know that weed, that gas. So I don't know what's going on with my brace today, but it was on 420. Yeah, it was like a couple of years ago, probably like 5-6 years ago, a long time ago. But I'm still scarred to this day. But okay, so Danny, the one from Trills, she had hit me up like, "What you doing today?" I'm like, nothing. I'm not doing nothing today. I'm just chilling. She was just like, "Oh, like we should go, like, you know, Chief, you know, we should go hit up some friends and go like drink and stuff like that." And I was like, for sure. Hopped on the clothes and shit, ran out the door. I go, we live like about 4 blocks away from each other. If that, I live literally down the street from her. So I went to her house. And we were just talking like, oh, we about to get fucked up, and we were just laughing like, we about to get fucked up and da da da. And I'm like, oh yeah, we about to get fucked up. But remind you, like before that day, I had smoked with my cousin, and but I didn't get high. Like it was like we was smoking hella blunts, but I wasn't getting high. Like I didn't feel like nothing. Like I guess I wasn't inhaling it or something, or I wasn't smoking right, or something was going on. But I never like felt the way I'm about to tell you how I felt when I first like really got high. So she was just like, oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, we about to get fucked up. But and then we had went next door, which was her homegirl. She stayed next door to her, like right literally next door. Like if you walk on Danny's door, you will be facing her friend door. So we went over there, we talking, and she like, we ain't got no weed. And I'm like, what? We ain't got no weed. And she was like, yeah, I just smoked the last blunt or whatever with my mom and shit. So I was just like, oh, okay. Like, so we had went down the street and we seen like a couple of our homies and shit. And they was just talking. And then we had went somewhere. We was walking and I seen this dude. I was like, oh, he looking like he smoked. And then Danny was like, oh yeah, he do like smoking shit. So we had got some weed from him. We went in the house, went in her room, and her homegirl had put like a towel under the door, whatever, and she had closed her window. So we was like basically like hot boxing. She rolled up like 2 big ass, they was like fat ass blunts, okay. And then we were just smoking and shit, listening to music. We was laughing. Now, I was just like barely hitting it, and they was noticing. They was like, what are you doing? Like, you not even really hitting it. And they was like doing it. It was like, oh, breathing in. It's like they trying to show me how to do it. So that's when, and then when I knew I hit it right because I started coughing and stuff. And I was like, oh shit. Like I'm coughing and stuff. I was like, damn, now I feel it. And I just started laughing at it and shit. They was like, yeah, now you finally hitting it. Like you wasn't hitting that shit at first. So I noticed like I started feeling like woozy. I'm like, oh shit, like damn, I'm fucked up. And Danny was just laughing like, yeah, you fucked up. You finally getting that high and shit. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, hey, can you open that window over there? And Danielle was like, hell no, I ain't opening shit. We ain't opening up shit. We about to get that full, like you about to get that full kill. I'm like, what?
I'm like, oh shit, like I'm scared to stand up. Like at this point, I'm just stuck. I'm just sitting there, just stuck, just looking at the wall. And then when we finally got done, it was like, all right, let's go in the living room and shit. I'm hungry. They all like, cause they used to smoking, her and her friends. So they like, man, I got the munchies, and then I'm just still sitting there like stuck. They was like, come on. So I remember getting up, and it just felt like that shit just came from my toes all the way up, and I was like, fuck, like it just, I don't know what it was. Just I can't even like, if you remember your first time smoking, then you would know what I'm talking about. Like your whole body, it just felt like it go numb, like you just go numb. So I walk out the door, and I remember she got this hallway, and I'm walking down the hallway, and I'm just holding on to the hallway door, like the walls and shit. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fucked up. And then I sat down, and they was like, damn, like what the fuck going on? And then that's when I started like panicking. I was like, damn, I can't breathe. Like I was like, fuck. And I was like, I'm gonna go outside for some air. I went outside, it's like over her rail, like how you go down, cause she stayed upstairs. So before, when I walked out the door, it's like a rail. I was holding on to that shit, and I'm like, fuck, like, damn, like I'm really, that shit really catching up to me. Like I'm really feeling like I'm about to fly or do some weird shit. And then Danny was like, hey, come in, because like my mama, like her door, like I said, her door was like right there. And she was like, my mama in the living room, I don't want her to like know, like we over here smoking or whatever. I'm like, we grown as fuck. In my head, I'm like, we grown as fuck, but still like, it's like we didn't want her to be like in our business. So I was like, hell no, I can't go in her house. Like I need some air. It was making me feel like claustrophobic or something. Like, so I'm like, hell no. I was like, fuck. Like, damn, if I let this go, like, I really feel like I'm about to fly. It was like, come sit down. You hide in a motherfucker and shit. And I was like, damn, like, what the fuck that nigga, like, gave us? Like, I feel like he laced our weed. And they was like, no, you supposed to feel like that. Like, you supposed to feel like. I'm like, nah, that nigga gave us some fucking. I was like, he does start shit with some sherm or some shit. And then he was like, bitch, do you know what sherm do? Like, you got this like liquid. And I'm like, nah, he gave us some sherm. But I'm being loud. Like, I'm not even knowing that I'm being loud. I'm like, that nigga just gave us some sherm and shit. And then y'all like, bring your ass in the house. Like, my mama right there and shit. She watching TV on the couch. And you talking about we up in here smoking sherm and shit. Like, hell no. So I go back in their house. They eating chips, they just laughing, just crying, laughing. Ain't shit funny. I don't know what the fuck they laughing at. I'm just sitting down, like shaking, like, oh fuck. I was like, maybe I need to go put some water on my face. I remember going into the girl bathroom, and I remember throwing water, but it felt like when I threw the water on my face, it felt like the water was coming down like slow. I'm like, oh hell no. So I ran out the bathroom, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm drying my face off, and they were like, damn, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm just gonna go outside and get some more air. I started walking down the fucking street trying to go home. I'm holding on to the gate and shit. I cross the street before, like, when I'm walking down the street, it's like a hamburger stand across the street. So when I was finna cross the street, it seemed like I was crossing that shit like 10 times. Like I just kept crossing the street. That's how I felt. And cars beeping the horn. I'm walking all slow because I feel like my legs is like numb. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I finally get across the street, and I walk to my house, and I remember sitting on the porch, and I'm like, fuck. And I just start crying like, damn, and when this shit gonna go off? Like I feel like I don't feel like myself. This shit feel weird as fuck. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking that somebody laced my shit. I'm like, damn, I ain't never felt this way. All these other times that I smoke, I never felt this way. So I guess, like, what the fuck, that nigga laced my shit. But like, that shit was just funny as fuck. Like, the next day it was funny because I'm like, damn, I was high than a motherfucker. But when I finally went in the house and I took a shower and then I had got in the bed, I remember opening my window and shit, like, so I could get some air, and I'm just laying there. I remember taking a nap. And when I woke up, I still felt high. I still felt a little high, but it wasn't as bad. And I remember like, what the fuck? And the next day they was like, oh, you want to come over? I'm like, hell no, I'm never smoking again and shit. Like, I was like, that was a bad, like a worse experience. And Danielle was like, no, you ain't gonna, that was your first high. You ain't gonna never feel that way. Like, next time you smoke, you ain't gonna, like, it's not gonna hit you like that and shit. So I remember like a couple of months, cause that happened like 420. I remember I hit the blunt again in like November. And it didn't hit me as hard, but it still made me feel claustrophobic. So I was like, weed ain't for me. But I was like, hell no, I ain't fucking with that shit. That shit, I don't like. If you a smoker, you can have that shit. Like, I just drink now. I don't smoke shit. But yeah, that shit was funny as fuck. If y'all was there, y'all gotta be there to know. Like, I was tripping the fuck out. Like, but yeah, let me know down like in the comments. Comment some shit. Let me know like what else story time you want me to do, or let me know how your experience was when you smoked, or y'all think I'm gassing the shit. Just say that, oh, you was gassing or whatever, but that's just how I felt. But yeah, that was my story time. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.